This opens up the psoas muscles and the knees. Welcome back to Yogaxpress, your virtual stretch clinic that helps you move the body to still the mind. My name is Banu Suresh. I'm your host for this program. I want to point out something very interesting today. Something very amazing, and it was not planned at all, but it fell in place so well. Notice how Sarah Torres to my left and Eric Schayer?
Schayer.
Eric Schayer to my right. Notice how the two of them are sitting. They're both sitting in perfect meditative postures, but they're both in different postures. Eric is sitting in what's called Vajrasana. Vajra or Veera is brave, and typically warriors would sit in this posture in ancient India, ancient Asia. And Sarah is sitting in what's called Padmasana. Padma is lotus, and the more peaceful, it's a more how do I put this? The more peace-loving people would sit the way Sarah's sitting. But both of them are meditative postures. When Sarah sits with her legs crossed in Padmasana, you'd keep, if you want to get into meditative state, you'd keep your palms open. Index and thumb would touch, you'd keep your palms open, so you're in a receptive mode. When Eric sits the way he's sitting in Vajrasana and the way I start my programs, he would keep the index and thumb together and he would keep his palms down. Now, what he's doing is he's also receiving, but he's channeling it and giving it right back to you. So we all have different preferences for how we want to take ourselves into the meditative state. I usually start off the way Eric is seated, and then I move on halfway in half Padmasana. I'm not quite where Sarah, I know Sarah would be very comfortable putting her legs right across, but it's important to know that whatever posture helps you bring your torso up, helps your breathing, and in turn helps you hold your postures for a longer time. Sarah Torres, I would like to reintroduce Sarah as a very familiar face on the show by now. Sarah, welcome back to the show.
Thank you for having me
Anything
back.
you'd like to add?
I'm ready to stretch. I came ready.
You're all already fully charged. In
ready.
peace. I come in peace,
Yes.
right? All right, well done. Eric, you've been off our radar for some time. You have been with us once before. I think you only joined in the last part of the show, too.
Yeah.
I'm glad you're able to join us right from the beginning this time. Eric, tell us a little bit about yourself before we move on.
What would you like to know?
What about you? Are you a producer here at MNN? You're training to be a producer? Or you're
loosely
already...
defined.
Okay.
I've submitted a single episode and single program, and I'll certainly be applying for a regular show in April. And
what is your passion? What kind of shows would you like to have at MNN?
Well, I do stand-up, something funny, probably something political. I do too many things, you know. I'm thinking maybe
you need to bring all that.
Maybe call it. Well, my book is going to be the Collected Tangents of Eric Schayer, and you know, maybe a variety show including
that sounds good.
A little bit of everything.
You can do anything with
little,
that. Collective
well,
Tangents of
that's
Eric Schayer. I want to read it right now.
And I want to give you a blog post about dreams.
Okay.
Lovely. Well, is it your blog? Do you want to share it with everyone, or is it for Sarah? that's fine. Take your time. Take your time.
No, I
He's actually on his electronic.
Got it. He's like, let me get it right now. Let's do this.
I'm actually streaming from Rishikesh as we speak.
Oh, okay. While Eric is getting the information out for us, I'd like our viewers to know Yogaxpress airs Monday through Friday on Time Warner 57, RCN 84, and FIOS 35 at 1:30 in the afternoon Eastern Time. This episode is filmed in the studios of Manhattan Neighborhood Network, and if you'd like to stretch with us, we will share with you a copy of my third title, Yoga Secrets, and very soon we have 2 other authors coming into our fold as well, so you'll have a lot of good talent. You can share your talent with us as well. And we'll also give you a postcard with 48 simple stretches on that, 48 stretches that actually help target different regions of the body to help prevent common ailments, everyday ailments. Plus, we have a fridge magnet, which we're almost running out of, but we're just trying to make sure you have no excuses not to stretch. We also have a website, www.yogaxpress.com, YOGAXPRESS.com. And that, if you visit that site, that's my website. When you visit that site, you'll get a good idea of what our topics include while we're on the show. Mostly we do a fair bit of stretching. As Sarah knows, we get a real high on our stretching, but we can also teach you how to get a high on just breathing. Now, who would have thought that you could get a high on breathing, right, Sarah?
That's right. Like, and they say the pure oxygen, like the pure oxygen
It's
when
heady.
people get lightheaded, it's because it's pure oxygen. But there's pure oxygen in the air. You just have to know how to channel it.
Harness that, exactly. You need to know how to channel that. That's why we are here, to help you do just that. At Eric's request, Eric, you did request for knee benders, is that right? Oh, you wanted pelvic openers and stretches.
Hip openers. And,
okay.
and I have a knee issue, so warrior.
Warrior pose.
But can I read this? It's
Sure, of course.
Something about realizing dreams, and it's like a kind of a farcical angle. Realizing a dream that has recurred sporadically throughout his life, Eric Schayer was chased by a venomous monster through empty streets as his legs wouldn't work properly and his vocal cords could emit but a feeble squeak. Prior to the monster's apprehension of Eric, the frightened protagonist awoke, unsure whether he had screamed, and looked around the room to verify his actual whereabouts. No monster was found on the premises, though occasional checks of the tub and under the bed are vigilantly continued.
Is that part of your blog?
Yeah.
Wow, you have a nice descriptive writing style.
Yeah.
Do you want to tell our viewers how they can get on your blog? What is your blog? What is it?
Well, it's my name, ericschayer.com.
Spell Schayer
Where's
for
the
us.
camera? Should I be looking into something?
Well, when we're talking to the viewers, that's the one Josiane uses. How do you spell your last name?
It's Eric Schayer, so ERICSCHAYER.
Josiane, we actually got his name correct in the credits as well. Josiane Hurd is our director today. Josiane, we do appreciate your flying solo. Thank you so much for making this episode happen. Visit Eric Schayer through his blog, ERICSCHAYER.com. Lovely. And you can have a wonderful dialogue with Eric. I love your writing style, Eric. Sarah's going to read some of her stuff too. She's got
I'm so
a
stingy
wonderful
with-
book. Now, here's
One
what we're
day.
going to do. Sarah, I know yesterday we tried to complete the whole sequence. Today, at Eric's request, we're going to do the standing posture so we get a bit of a workout for the knees as well as some hip openers. So, you okay with that
Sounds
too?
wonderful.
All right, let's all stand up. We'll gradually move into the knee benders and hip openers. So we're going to go through a simple knee bending sequence. So from the full sequence, 48 plus, we're picking all the knee benders and the ones where you could open up your hips a lot more. And you're right, the warrior posture does that very well. Okay, bring your feet, the insides of your feet parallel to each other. Your feet are about 4 to 6 inches apart. Typically, you'd have them at hip width, but I feel that's probably too far for me, so I'm going to keep it a little closer. Insides of your feet are parallel. Inhale your arms up to shoulder height, palms facing in. So you're conserving your energy. You want to stay in. Now, exhale as you bend your knees. You're sitting in an imaginary chair. Let's exhale and bend. Now, Eric, I know you have a tender knee, but this is going to make you feel stronger. Once you're out of this studio today, you're going to be jumping around. Inhale, let's come up. Exhale and release. Today, we are going to hold our postures a little longer than Sarah and I did yesterday. Let's all turn to face the front left of the mat. So we're going to face this camera, the camera that talks to our viewers. Bring your legs out about 3 feet apart. Now, turn once your feet are nice and secure on the mat. First thing, you want to put your brakes on so your toes are in. Once your feet are nice and secure on the mat, turn your right foot out. Now, you don't want your feet to go too far apart. The idea is to get your balance where you are. Now, if you're very tall, feel free, you can bring your legs further apart. I want to be safe, so I'm going to keep about 3 feet. Exhale. First, let's inhale. Bring your arms up to shoulder height, palms facing down. Turn your upper body to face the left of the mat. Exhale. Bend your right knee. So you should feel a wonderful compacting of your abductors on the upper left thigh. And you feel a beautiful pelvic stretch on the adductor muscles on the inside of your upper right thigh. You also have a bit of a hip opening and the psoas on the side of your right hip. Let's turn to look at the tip of our fingers on the right hand. If the pressure is too much on your knees when you bend your knee, wiggle your right foot further away from the other foot. Now, inhale. Actually, no, let's continue, Sarah. Sorry about that. Keep exhaling. Dip your right hand in front of your right ankle. Take your left arm all the way up. Look up at the raised palm. And then if you want to take it further, do what Sarah's doing. Take your left arm all the way overhead. And as you go deeper into each posture, keep exhaling. Inhale. Let's come up. Very gently, both arms to shoulder height. Straighten your right knee. Turn your right foot in. Turn the left foot out. When you feel your feet are nice and secure on the mat, turn to look at the tip of your fingers on the left hand. Exhale and bend the left knee. Now, I'm doing what's called Ujjayi breath. It's called ocean breath, but it's really a deep, Ujjayi means victorious. It's a deep guttural breath. Keep exhaling. Dip your left hand in front of your left ankle. And Eric, we have to give Eric some concession. You're wearing jeans today, right, Eric?
Right.
Okay. Now, folks at home, if you're stretching in jeans that do not stretch with you, forgive yourself. If you cannot go too deep into a posture, it's okay. Just do the best you can today. Keep exhaling. Take your arms all the way, right arm all the way over. Keep your arms straight, Sarah. That's it. Very nice. I love your nails. Inhale. Let's come up. Bring your arms up to shoulder height and then straighten your left knee. Turn your left foot in. Exhale. Bring your arms down and then wiggle your feet a little closer. And let's turn to face the front of the mat. That's 3 postures, 3 of them which are knee benders, opened up the side, your obliques, and gave you a wonderful hip opener as well. So when you feel nice and centered, when your mind is nice and centered, you want to attempt some balance postures. An amazing pelvic opener and hip opener for in balance is the tree posture. Let's try that. I'm going to stagger myself. Sarah and Eric, if you want to come forward, and maybe just a little more forward. So I'll go back so we don't hit each other. Very nice. Transfer your weight to the right leg. Right hand on the right hip. Turn your left knee out to the side first. Let's start off with that. Look at a point in front of you that doesn't move. And then when you're ready, the right hand is on the right hip for balance. Inhale, lift the left foot off of the floor. Now remember, you don't have to go all the way up the way Sarah is. You could place your left foot. Eric is also ready. Just avoid your right knee. You can place your left foot at your ankle, your calf, or if you want, you can take it all the way up. Now, you could also feel free to use maybe the back of a chair. That's another thing I have to point out. Those of you at home, well done, Sarah. Exhale and release. You're willing to stay there forever, right?
Yeah, we didn't even. She like exhale.
Okay, go ahead.
Let's see if I can just hold it.
Try it.
Till you
just
finish.
Keep your eyes open. So those of you who are stretching at home with us, feel free to use a chair, the back of a chair, if you want to hold on. And if you want to stay where Sarah, if you want to go to where Sarah is going, feel free. If you want to take it even further, close your eyes. Our holding times are much longer. I wouldn't risk closing our eyes over here in the studio. But knowing Sarah, she's crazy enough to try it. Feel free, Sarah.
Probably looks like my eyes are closed. I'm looking at the paper.
That's good. That's another way to slowly get into the eye closing when you start to practice on your own. So when you're, very nice. So you could do that. So the idea is to get the left knee out to the side. Exhale and release very gently. Now transfer your weight. Switch to the other side. Transfer your weight to the left leg. And Eric, you can feel free to keep the chair on this mat if you want. Left hand is on the left hip. Turn your right knee out to the side. Inhale, lift your right foot off of the floor. Hold on to the right ankle with the right hand. Attach the sole of the right foot to the inside of your upper left thigh. When you're ready, that's already a wonderful hip opener right there. When you're ready, place your palms, as Sarah just did, in front of your chest. Now, if you're using any props, that's fine. You don't have to let your hands go. You can hold on, but you're doing well there, Eric. Very good. Yeah, that's it. You could do that too. Hold on. Keep one hand over here. No, that's fine. You're doing perfectly okay. Let's do this. Let's keep this on both the mats. And press the chair down. If you're using our studio chairs are a little light. So we have to warn you to use some heavier chairs. So you're going to do that. If you're using a light chair, remember to press the chair down to the ground instead of pulling it towards you. And then when your palms are in front of your chest, inhale, take your arms all the way up. And then open up your palms. And then do what Sarah's doing. Very gently, you can lead yourself to closing your eyes, but you don't have to close your eyes today. Just lower your gaze. Place your palms together, exhale, and release. Another thing I'd like to point out to our viewers, in our studios, the studio equipment is very expensive, so we have very cold conditions to preserve the equipment. At home, if your air conditioning is on all the time, you may feel tempted to keep your socks on. If you're going to do that, make sure you have rubber dots under your socks so you have some traction on the mat. Eric did the right thing. He started off with the socks, but he took them off halfway through because you found that you get better traction without them, right? So you want to be safe, whatever you do. After the tree, let's try another one that's a wonderful stretch for your quads, and you take your leg back so your psoas gets a beautiful stretch as well. Transfer your weight, and we'll leave the chair here this time. Transfer your weight to the right leg. Right hand goes on the right hip. And then inhale, lift your left leg. Hold on to the left ankle from behind with your left hand. Now, if you're going to use a chair, for instance, if I'm going to use this chair for balance, I'll still keep my left hand on my left ankle. And then when I feel ready, inhale your right arm up. Exhale, dip your torso, lift your left leg. Balanced postures do require a lot more focus, and actually, Eric, I should really give you one on that side because it's not fair to you for me to have the chair on my side and you don't have one, so let me give you one there.
Thank
So
you.
when you feel, sure. Very nice. You should feel that delicious stretch in the front of your quads on the left leg. Inhale, let's come up. Very gently, lower your left leg and then your right arm. Transfer your weight to the left side. Don't forget the other side. Inhale, lift your right foot from behind, hold on to the right ankle. When you've made that connection, and this time, Eric, you may want to hold on to this chair. Inhale, lift your left arm all the way up. Exhale, lower your torso. So fold over and lift your right knee as high as you can. Look at a point that doesn't move. Careful, careful. Look at a point that doesn't move. And if you come out of a posture, it's okay. Get right back in. Release. Inhale. And very gently release the posture. When you realize that the posture, that the chair or your props may not be enough for you, for those of you who are stretching with some props, it's what you can do is probably not go too deep into the posture because you don't want to hurt yourself. But for instance, what Eric is doing, he's actually using, that's very smart, he's using his hand as support instead of using the chair. As long as he feels, very nice, as long as he feels a stretch in his quad muscles on the right leg and he feels a stretch of the psoas. Eric, did you feel the stretch here as well when you went that deep? When you took your left leg all the way up, did
Here?
you feel the psoas muscle, this thick muscle over here that goes from the hip when you took your leg back? Because I noticed your right leg went up pretty high.
Yeah.
So you would have, of course, you'd have felt the stretch here.
On
How
the
about
right?
this part on the right side? Yes, individually on
So
each side.
here you're saying?
The muscle that goes from here, the psoas, there's a thick, strong muscle called the psoas muscle. Yeah, try that again. Let us know how exactly which one you feel the stretch. Yes. Because you're taking it, yeah, that's good. Inhale, come up.
No, on the right side, just the quad.
Just the quad.
Left side, the ham. Up
Right,
to the ham.
right. When you're standing over here. You mean when you fold the left side or when you're standing on the left side?
When I'm
And
standing on the left
right,
side.
right. You just feel the hamstrings. So typically when you're taking it as high as Eric is, you'd feel this part, the psoas muscle, also stretching a little bit. Sometimes I feel it, sometimes I don't, because sometimes I'm focusing more on holding my
I
balance.
feel that.
You feel
I
it?
got a lot of meat there though, so I just feel it that much more.
You think you're as much as
No, it's
I wasn't
good.
doing that.
Now, since we're doing hip openers, not just knee benders today,
No.
well, because he had his hand all the way down, so he was resting on the left hand, so I noticed he was going a little even higher, so I assumed that he would feel the stretch. But you did feel in the quad, so you did get something on your workout right there. Sometimes when you...
I think everybody's body is different.
Everybody's body is different, that is true. That is
Even
true.
at the same stretch, you might feel it differently on your body.
Right. No, you're right. You're right. Each one of us. For instance, I noticed when my husband, when I was doing my teacher training, did I mention this to you? I was reading off of some notes, and I said, cross your right heel, tuck it into the left groin, and the left heel into the right groin.
He just was like,
He just crossed over, and I noticed every day he'd already been tying his shoelaces. So, it's what your body's accustomed to. Bring your right foot in front of the left, both feet facing the front of the mat. Very gently, raise your left heel, very gently lower the left knee to the floor. Ashwa Sanchala or Ashwini, uncurl your toes in the left foot. Once your left knee is down, wiggle your right foot as far forward as you can, and then dip your hip. Keep exhaling and dip. You should feel a wonderful stretch of your quads, the front of your upper left thigh on the left leg. Now, if you're wearing jeans the way Eric is, you don't have to go too deep. Sometimes jeans can be restrictive, so be mindful of what you're wearing as well. Sometimes they can hold you back. Inhale. Actually, you know what? Let's continue. There's one more. We can take it even deeper. Get our twist over here, Sarah. Inhale the left arm up. Exhale. You can never say no to twist.
No.
Dip your left elbow over your right knee. Place your right palm on top of the left. Look up at the raised elbow and hold. This posture does involve some balance, so you want to stay focused. Very nice. Inhale. Let's come out of that.
You know, if
and
I
let's
push
switch legs.
this way, it just helps me stay balanced.
Right,
Because
right.
it's like the
because you got your
opposite.
whole shoulder, whole arm
I
over.
just cheat.
Let's switch legs. Bring your right
Lean on
leg
my
back. And bring your left foot forward. For me, my whole elbow, my full arm doesn't come all the way over. So for me, it does involve some balance because I'm still sort of tipping on my elbow. Yeah. So bring your left knee forward. Exhale and dip. Left knee is up. Inhale the right arm up. Exhale. Dip your right elbow over your left shoulder. Place your left palm on top of your right. Look up at the raised elbow and hold. I see your point, Sarah. I'm trying to go a little deeper on this side, and I know exactly what you're talking
You
about.
could
now.
just like push and it.
Right. It sort of tucks itself, right?
Yeah.
Inhale. Let's come out of that. And let's come on all fours first. Now we're going to do a little bit of a gentle undulating motion of the spine in cat position before we take you into camel. The camel would stretch the front of the thighs, but let's do the spinal movement first. Come on your hands and knees. Hands are directly below the shoulders, knees directly below the hips. Curl your toes in. Inhale. As we inhale, we're going to lift our chin, chest, and buttocks and dip the torso. Inhale. Bend your elbows if you need to. I know I do. Inhale and dip. Exhale. Uncurl your toes, arch your back. Try that one more time. Curl your toes in. Inhale and dip. Uncurl your toes, arch your back. That spinal movement was to help neutralize any tension in the back, because now we're going to do a little bit of a back bend. Let's come up on our knees into camel position. We're going to turn to face the front left of the mat. Bring your knees about hip width apart. Now remember, if you really want to challenge yourself and go really deep into this posture, feel free to keep your knees close together. If you're very tired, bring your knees further out. I'm going to keep it at midpoint because I don't think I really want to go too close. And then you can also remember, please remember, if you want, you can keep your toes curled in, bring your hands closer to the heels, but it's more pressure on the knees. So I would not take any chances. I'm going to keep the tops of my feet flat. Place your palms on your buttocks and push your elbows back. Now, as we get into this posture, please remember to engage your low back muscles. Inhale, open up your chest, take your shoulders back, lift your chin up, open up your chest. Exhale, glide your palms down the back of your legs, tighten your gluteals and your low back. Very gently, and you don't have to touch your heels, but if you want to reach for it, right hand to the right heel, left hand to the left heel. Once you've made that connection, tilt your head back and your pelvis forward and hold. Now, if you don't want to go too deep, you can place your palms. Anyway, let's bring our palms back on our buttocks very gently as we inhale. And if you prefer not to go too deep, you can always glide your palms down the back of your legs. You just want to make sure you do not leave your hands suspended. Let's sit down on our back very gently. And here's what we're going to do. We're going to take that one step further. Even though it's a less of an intense stretch, intense back bend, you're getting more of a stretch in the front. Place both the elbows on the floor beside your hips. So very gently, we're going to lower our head over backwards. So very gently lower your elbows, right and then the left. We have a few minutes left. We're doing well. Make sure your knees are down on the ground. When you lift your knees, there's more pressure on your ankles. So you want to keep your knees down, tilt your head back, and place your palms gently. Rest them gently on the soles of your feet. You should feel a delicious stretch in the front of your quads and a little bit of a pull in the hip region. Press with your palms very gently. Let's come up. And let's do a little bit of a forward fold. You're very sporting, very brave. In spite of that knee injury, you've hurt yourself, right?
A little bit, yeah.
And in spite of that, you're willing to try all the knee benders. Wow, I must say, you're very game for this. Let's continue to sit on our heels. Going to do a forward fold. Inhale the arms up. Take your arms all the way overhead. Exhale, fold from the hip. Give yourself a bit of a release for the spine. Nice breathing sound. Now keep your elbows off of the floor. Let this be an active posture. When you're ready, press your palms together, engage your low back, come up with a straight back. Exhale and release. A wonderful closing pelvic opener would be our pigeon posture. So let's swing your legs. We're already on our knees. Extend the left leg all the way out to the back. And then you want to bring your right foot forward. So in pigeon, are you comfortable going with us in this pigeon posture? Take your left leg all the way out and bring your right foot forward. Now, if you want to get a deeper stretch on the outside of